My name's Dan Smith and I'm Secretary General of International Alert, which is a peacebuilding organisation based in London.
And how did you first get involved with International Alert or with peacebuilding work in general?
Oh, it's a long story, but it goes back to being interested in armed conflict, being part of the peace movement, the anti-nuclear weapons movement in the UK and Europe in the late 70s and the 1980s. Through that and as a researcher, my interest has been mainly in wars which, at the time that I started getting interested in them, didn't seem to interest many other people whom I could see. The wars which were going on sort of hidden under the surface of the Cold War. And as the Cold War ended, one of the reasons why people started to feel as if the world was a more violent place was simply that the wars which had been going on came up to the surface. And so I was interested in that as a researcher, but I had my activist instincts. And for me, leading International Alert is kind of the perfect job. It brings together both my activist instincts and my analytical instincts in one position.
And on a personal level, the peacebuilding record has been quite limited. A lot of conflicts relapse after a few years. How do you remain sort of optimistic or hopeful about the initiatives, the work you're doing?
Well, in the mid-1990s, when Licklider first did that study of armed conflicts relapsing, he found it was a sort of, something like 50% within 5 years. In general now, it's been hard to replicate that original study. A lot of people have questioned it in one way or another. But in general now, when those kinds of things are done, they suggest that more peace agreements are enduring for longer. It's an extraordinary thing about the world, the number of peace agreements which have been made since the beginning of the Cold War. It's well over 700 of all kinds. So the world has got tremendously better at making peace agreements and slowly better at keeping them. And I feel that the work that International Alert does is a part of that story. The second thing which keeps anybody who's working in this energized and to some degree optimistic is the people whom you work with. So wherever you're talking, however apparently intractable the armed conflicts are, there are always people who are doing their best. They're trying to live with dignity, they're trying to work with dignity, they're trying to be activists for peace, and it's the relationship with those people which is the most energizing part of the work that we do.